And here we go. Now you can hear me. Sorry about this. Yeah, YouTube, here, let's say Windows. That's what I was going to say. Windows is being weird about the audio devices again. They love to do that. And I'm continually setting it right, but Windows can't remember. So that's how it goes. Hello and welcome. So let me explain again, since nobody could hear the first one. This is our story. Oh, it's so bad. I said such a good thing. I had such a great intro. It was so natural and so clever and so witty. Well, it's now lost in time, like tears in rain. Moment of silence for my great intro. I really liked it. Oh, all right, here we go. This is our story. And this is the guy who's writing it. And there's the chat. You can't find it here on YouTube because the YouTube chat has proven to be a bit unruly. We have therefore chosen a more ruly chat, which we have found on Discord. I'm sorry for this to all the people who dislike Discord, including myself. But the link is in the description below. And if you prefer to participate somewhere else, we can arrange that. Just let me know. For example, you can send me an email. You can send me an SMS. You can send me a message on basically any messenger. And you can send me a fax if you prefer that. You can also write a comment. The comments are not available during the live stream, but they become available after the live stream has turned into VOD. So that's also an option. You can do all of that. But for now, let's concentrate on the actual writing. Hello to everyone in the chat. I'm glad you're there, and I'm glad you're participating. So let's see. Last time we finished the interview with our first inhabitant of the care facility that Munira and Sam are visiting. And I think we also made a decision about a few other things in advance, and I will try to have a look at our polls. Here we go. No, we didn't. All right, I thought we might. Just not the case. Then does anyone have any thoughts on how to continue today? I already have an idea, but we don't have to do that if you have other ideas. So feel free to let me know. For now, I think we will... Well, that might be a subject for a poll, because, as I said, I have an idea what's going to happen, but I have a question about the perspective. Because I think the next scene will be one where Sam and Munira meet the facility management again. And yes, we need to know from whose perspective we're going to do that. I think we have never yet written from the perspective of Sam. So it might be a bit weird to do it now, but on the other hand, why not give you the option? You can always choose to do it or not do it. Maybe one thought for that might be obvious for everyone with a bit of experience with reading or writing this kind of story, but might not be obvious to everyone. And even if it's obvious to you, it might be nice to confirm that we're on the same page, because it might be obvious in a way, but you might disagree with my general idea. So the general idea is that if you have a very mysterious character, it is dangerous and difficult to write from their perspective. It's not impossible. It might even be very well worth it, but it's difficult and dangerous because you risk taking away a bit of the mystery by laying bare at least some of their thoughts. And that's the trick. You don't have to give everything away. You know, like there are unreliable narrators. They are the extreme of this, but you can also just have a not completely open narrator or anything above and in between. You know what I mean. So yeah, I think I'm going to offer the option. And I'm also going to check what was the last time we saw management. I have decided against reading what happened again, but I might. Do you think I should? Because I think we were starting with a new scene, so the old one might not be all that relevant. But also I need to scroll back to where they were still talking to that management person. This is still Gudmund. Gudmund. This is still Gudmund. Here we go. This might still be Gudmund. Yeah, it's still Gudmund. I should probably have done a search instead. It's further away than I expected. Here we go. Gabler. It's Ruth Gabler. And the end of this scene is... I think I'm going to read that and the end of last scene. Some love. Try to remember. Gudmund. Alright, so let's go. Here. Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't think I'm going to read this after all, because it's mostly interaction between Sam and Munira, and while that doesn't make it exactly irrelevant, there has been so much new interaction between Sam and Munira during the interview that I think it's not helpful to read much of it before. So they were bickering a bit. Then Ruth Gabler sighed and said, "I cannot believe this is happening." Sam turned to her with a delighted smile and said, "Oh, but you haven't even seen anything yet." And then we switched to Gudmund's perspective, and he was invited to the interview. Yeah. So my tendency would be to write from Ruth Gabler's perspective and even mention a bit how the last conversation actually ended. But I'll leave it up to you. Let's make a poll, and while you're voting in the poll, I shall read the last few paragraphs of what we wrote last time. So here we go. Hashtag poll. From whose perspective shall the next scene be narrated? A question mark. And we have 1. No particularly order, of course. It's just random. 1. Ruth Gabler. 2. Munira. 3. Sam. Might be weird, might be good. I would exclude Gudmund. Oh, why not? Come on, you can decide. Let's see. This is a bit... No, I'm gonna... No, wait. Complicated. Because, let me explain. I am considering who will participate in this conversation, and that's not identical to the question of whose perspective we're using, obviously. And in this question, that also leaves room. What was her name? I have it in the notes, but I also have it here. The thing is, we have Ruth Gabler and Lara Kaczmierz. There she is. So yeah. We have Ruth Gabler as the head of facility and the nursing service head, Lara Kaczmierz, and Gudmund. And we can have a scene with just Ruth, Munira, and Sam. We can have a scene with Ruth, Munira, Sam, and Lara. We can also have a scene with all 5 of them, including Gudmund, and we can even have more people. And I think I'm going to make a poll of that too. And then, yeah, it's a bit weird, but I'm just gonna give everything into the poll, and then you can make up your minds about what you want. Lara. Let's make this as complicated as possible, because I trust you to deal with that. Lara Kaczmierz, and then finally we have Gudmund again. Here we go. And now I'm going to add the emoji for you to click. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a shrug. The way you like it. Next poll. Who will participate? That's difficult now. We're gonna make a special poll. Special poll. Who will participate in this conversation, question mark. And this will be, I'm going to say it right out loud, except for Sam and Munira, those are not optional. They will both be there. And then we have 1, Rutgabla. 2, Lara Kaczmierz. And 3, Gudmund. No, he doesn't get a second name. I don't remember it. Here we go. And the special thing about this is, this time you are not picking one option. You're telling me, and I want you to listen well to this because it's important. You can click on everyone you think should participate, and then I'll decide what to do with the votes. So you can click on all 3 of them, and that's fine. It's always fine, but in this case it's especially fine, because by this you'll be telling me that you are in favor of having all of them present. You can click on only 2, you can click on only 1, or you can click none of them, which might make it a bit weird because that will mean the conversation will happen between only Sam and Munira and nobody else. But I can live with that. I think we can work with that too. So this is your choice now. You can choose who will be present in this conversation and participate in it. So feel free to click whatever feels right to you, and I shall use the time to read the last few paragraphs we have written last time to get back into the mood. So let's see. Right. What had Goodman? Oh, it's all complicated. So let's just summarize it by saying that Sam and Munira have been talking about Munira's training. And the cup of tea, right, the cup of tea. And then Gudmund says, if you're done with that, can we come back to my question? Sam took another sip and turned their attention back to Gudmund, looking even halfway serious for a minute. Yes, of course, they said, foregoing any kind of smile. I apologize. The core of the issue is, I think, we have talked about it. I know your position now, and we need to get on with this and talk to everyone else here. So there is a limit on how much time we can spend on you. I'm sorry, but this interview is, in fact, almost over. You can have a finishing comment or a last question, but don't try to filibuster me. Gudmund tried to think of something, wondering if this was the dreaded hypothetical come to life where you had one question you could ask of God and couldn't come up with a good one. So in the end, he just looked around into the clouds and mumbled, I guess it would be too much to want to know what's going on, because I still don't understand. There was the smile again. I wouldn't say it's too much, Sam said, reaching out a hand toward Gudmund. Gudmund wondered if they should try to avoid it, but it didn't feel like a good idea. But the weird person continued, none of us do. That's the neat part. The index finger touched Gudmund's forehead, and he found himself back in his room. So Gudmund is back in his room, and I guess from your vote, because you decided to exclude Ruth Gabler, but include Lara Kaczmierz and Gudmund. So it seems, let's say, what's a good word in English? It seems apropos, for lack of a better word, it seems apropos to have them all appear back in Gudmund's room. Maybe we'll just do that. You didn't expect that, right? You are surprised, impressed maybe even. And also you voted for the second option, so Munira's perspective. So that's fine. All right. I can work with that. So how is the return going to happen? I think like this. Maybe even like this. Or I'm going to do another poll. Sorry. I'm going to, or am I? Yeah. I'm going to. One last sorry, one last poll. Or am I going to? Yeah. Come on. This is an interactive writing live stream. What good is trying to curtail the interactiveness, the interactivity, degree of interactivity? I don't know. Do poll. Hashtag poll. Do Munira and Sam return immediately with Goodmund, or just going to make the emoji right there, or do they remain in the cloud meeting room for a few more minutes to have a private conversation between the two of them? Know what I mean? Last poll before we start writing, I promise. 1, 2, shrug. As always, I want to remind you, of course, if you have a completely different idea, you can type it. I have to limit the choices for a multiple choice poll, obviously, because I can't, if I try to type, I don't have to explain it, do I? But that doesn't mean I don't like ideas that don't seem plausible, obvious, or even attractive to me. But if you have a different idea, if you say, I don't know, I want I want something completely different. I want them to have a meeting with all the different Magi right there before they return to the nursing care facility. You can type that. You can always type another option and let me know, and then maybe I'll even renew the poll, and the others can tell me if they like that too or if they don't. For now, you have made up your mind, and you agree with my spontaneous thought, apparently, that they do remain in the cloud meeting room for a few more minutes to have a private conversation. That's good. All right. So let's see what we do. When Sam's finger touched it. That's the this version is the rarely used double past tense. You use that when you're typing past tense, but you accidentally touched it, the T after the H. And that leads to a verb form known as double past tense. I probably should have just deleted the T and stayed silent, right? When Sam's finger touched Gudmund's forehead, on the one hand, I'm considering this as I'm typing. On the one hand, it's obviously a bit clunky to have those two sentences right after each other. On the other hand, this is intentional, so it's fine. Sam's finger. Also, it's not a big. The finger is not that big. Touched Gudmund's forehead. Funny, look. It makes a line break if it's big, but if it's not, it doesn't. You might not find that as funny as I do. Touched Gudmund's forehead. The old man froze and sat there like a puppet. All life fled from him. And Munira could not help but stare in, what would you call it, muted horror at his body. What? What? Why? You didn't. She mumbled, no, stuttered, finally managing to tear her gaze away towards Sam. Silently begging them to not give the bad answer. Sam returned her gaze levelly with a slight, what do you call it, crease between their eyebrows until a smile broke out. Can you say that? On the face, and they gently patted Munira's shoulder with their slender hands with the colorful nails. Oh no! They replied. What do you think of me? He's not. This is not the actual person we talked to, they said. This is more. Think of it like an avatar, not the divine kind, but the video game kind. His body stayed where it was the whole time. And now it's what you say, rejoined to his mind. Look, it's already starting to fade. They gestured towards the frozen Gudmund, and indeed, Munira, looking closely, noticed that it had become brighter. The colors and what do you call it? Shapes? Is shape a good, or delineations, demarcations, lines? Maybe even. I'm going to type lines for now, and you can tell me if you find a better word. The colors and lines growing less distinct, and if she really tried to, she could convince herself that the parent body, that she saw some light permeate through the parent body before her. Maybe like that. It's creepy as all get out, she muttered. Did you have to do it like this? Sam shrugged, still smiling. It's a bit annoying, isn't it? When you're, well, of course, tada, different media have different advantages and disadvantages. Who'd have thought? If you're having a character that always smiles in a movie or in a TV series or something, you can just have a person that always smiles, weirdly or not. But if you're writing a story about a person that always smiles, you have to type that they're smiling all the time. And that gets old rather quick. Clear disadvantage of the written word. Nothing to do about it, though. Little sip of water now and then is good for your health. Remember, kids, hydrate, especially in summer. I didn't think of that. Sorry. Next time. It's what happens when I just let go without additional measures. They gestured towards Gudmund and the remaining, already clearly translucent body vanished entirely in a blink. So when am I going to learn stuff like this? She asked. Hmm. Sam made a vague gesture with an index finger, a vague, let's say, rotating close to the right ear. Hmm. Conservative estimate, maybe 300 years, give or take a few. Munira stared at them. What? Sam asked, or guffawed, maybe even. Let's go with guffawed. I haven't yet figured out if I like that word or not, but there's I need to learn some way. Sam guffawed. Did you think you could maybe I'll change the word to be able to do because it doesn't feel good to repeat the word like this here. Did you think you could learn bending the fundamental structures of time and space? In the same time frame you learn what's called what's I'm going to have to check a word right quick. Be back in a second. Mm. Mm-hmm. I thought so, but still, let's do it. In the same time frame, you learn to make an ashtray on a pottery wheel. Can you do that? She asked. I think I just demonstrated. No, I mean pottery. Little joke here. Sorry, couldn't resist. Um, can you use a pottery wheel like the people on TikTok? Now, I kind of painted myself into a corner here, you might realize, because I don't know what Sam's answer will be. Because I like the question, I like the dialogue, I think that's spot on. If you don't object, I will leave it. But now I need to think of a good answer. Maybe I'll go with the humorous effect afforded us by the unexpectedly every day. Sam frowned slightly and looked down at the stone table. It was a stone table, right? Let's see. Table. Long modern conference table. Okay, yeah, maybe not stone. All right, yeah, let's just go with what's it called? Huh, just going to go with the conference table. Whatever. Look down at the conference table. Well, maybe not like the big accounts, they admitted, but I know my way around. I have made the odd jug and uh, what else could one plate in my time? And I do think I could find ways the sly smile was stealing its way back into their mean. Like this? No, what? Well, how do you write that again? Uh, like this. Simple. Didn't remember. Uh, to make it look like those videos if I wanted to. I have no doubt about that, Munira. Said. I was considering something like growl, but it's the right direction, but it's too much. it's too far in the right direction, and too far in the right direction can be worse than not at all, I think. My opinion. Time for a sip of water again. Nice. And refreshing. But you are going to start teaching me some soon, aren't you? I've already, Sam exclaimed, and she couldn't tell if they sounded mock offended or just offended. Trust the process. That's what you. Sorry, what people say nowadays, right? That they remembered. They remembered. That's a bit. That's. In this case, I don't mind it. In this case, I don't think I mind. But it is kind of a problem that sometimes there are situations where you can only make your readers aware of somebody remembering something they have learned by having them almost forget it. Of course, strictly speaking, there are always other possibilities. But sometimes this is the most elegant and the only one that feels right. And that's a bit of a bother because obviously it means you have to have the character almost forget it. Like in this case here. As I said, this is at the same time a good and a bad example because it's okay. I don't mind Sam forgetting this. I try. I think I would not put it beyond Sam to actually intentionally do this to remind Munira herself of how good it is that they remembered this or something. Whatever. Sam is kind of a trickster, you know? So this is an example where it doesn't matter much, but there are other examples, and sometimes I don't like it, but I still do it. The trade-offs of the trade. It doesn't work so well, that saying, does it? Right, right. Um, I have heard that, but I'm not sure I do. That's the spirit. Sam. Oh, Sam said, and let's do it like that. Held up both hands and clapped. And like that, Munira dropped. I'm going to say it unceremoniously. Is that a good word? I've read it in contexts like this, I think, so often that it feels right to type it here, but when I think about it more, it feels more and more wrong. So you tell me how you feel about it. After I've finished the sentence, I know you can't tell yet. Onto her butt when the chair beneath her vanished and she found herself in a let's say obvious nursing facility room. I mean, a room where somebody lives. What would be the word? If I just type room, that could be any room in a nursing facility, like an office or a closet or a library or a dining room. That could be any room. I want to. Living room is not. Living room is not it, right? What else could I use? What else could I use? Zimmer, room, apartment, apartment, apartment. Maybe an apartment. Or do I stay with room? Living room? Living nursing facility room? Or do I just maybe like this? Maybe I maybe show, don't tell? Maybe that? Should I try that? I've heard good things about that principle. I've heard too few bad things about that principle. Maybe I'll make a video about it one day. Probably not. Hmm. When the chair beneath her. By the way, you are still there, are you? Because I haven't heard from you for 20 minutes. Just wondering. Ah, there's somebody typing. That's fine. Found herself in a rather beige room with a. I need a word again. Gekrimbel says I would have gone for apartment, personal room, quarters. Maybe apartment then. I think that feels best. But what I'm looking for now is sorry. Still here. Yeah, very good. No, I think I'm gonna try what I've started now. Yeah, right. I'm gonna try to finish this in a rather beige room with a nursing bed, um, fake wooden floor, a rather small beige room with a fake wooden floor and uh, 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 um, let's say incongruous furniture, like a big dark wooden bookshelf like this. Epiphany says unceremoniously might work, and I'm struggling to think of a better choice. Doesn't help that my English language mind isn't being stimulated as often as it used to be since I'm now in Deutschland. Yeah, sorry about that. Um, maybe I'm looking for a dining table, kind of, you know. And rather quite and a nicely chic expensive dining table. Chic, not like this. What do you mind? What's your problem? No, but that's a word. Come on, that's a word in English, isn't it? Don't try to no don't play with my heart. Uh, but you write it just like German, right? Like this. Ah, I think well, the spell checker could have told me. They could have guessed the right word, right? looked like somebody had dropped. Now, my least strong suit, my weakest suit, if you wish, simile. I want to pick a simile to explain how badly this dining table looks, and I can't just say incongruous again or something because I have already said that. Now, what do we do? Had dropped. Now we need, and that's difficult. We need an example of something obviously chic, fashionable, and expensive, and then an example of surroundings that are the opposite of that. So maybe like a work of art. It has to be a kind of modern work of art, and that's difficult. Warhol comes to mind, but Warhol is, of course, let's say, controversial. But still, maybe still. Had dropped a Warhol. They have to be popular because, of course, Munira is not an art expert. A Warhol print. And there we go. That's the difficult part. Because where? I don't know. Into into now there's here there's the guy there's a famous German fictional character called Alfred Tetzlaff, but Munira is not old enough to know Alfred Tetzlaff as an example. Otherwise, I would have said into Alfred Tetzlaff's living room or something like this. But no deal. She doesn't know him. She doesn't even know him. So we need something else. Somebody like this, but somebody the young people know. Someone old-fashioned. Someone who can stand. I know. I made this difficulty for myself without any need at all. I could have avoided this by just not going there, and I decided to go there anyway. And I'm sorry, and I'm not even mostly sorry to you. I regret this personally, deeply. I feel nobody feels the pain right now like I do. I promise you. Still, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? Who might be the epitome of old and non-fashionedness for somebody who's 13 years old right now? Who might that be? Maybe even we could like here. How about someone like some politician, maybe like into. It's I don't like it. I'll admit I don't like it. I don't like what I did. I probably just should not do it. It doesn't work, right? It doesn't work. I'm starting to come to the realization that it just doesn't work. But that's only because I can't find the right simile. It's a good example. Sorry, no, I'll give up. I'll give up. This is not worth it. I'm just going to make a note, and maybe I'll think of something later. Sometimes it happens, you know. You probably know that too. You don't think about it for a while, and then suddenly it hits you. Right. I should have said. Simile or something to explain how it stands out. I could have just said stands out like a sore thumb. Of course I could have, but I don't want to. I don't want to. I want the right simile, but I can't find it because I'm not a good writer. I'm just not. At least not like this. I think the dialogue was nice. I think I can do dialogue. Can't do simile. Gudmund was standing besides said table, talking to, and there we go. Can I? Yeah, she's still in the Windows paste bin. Is that the right word? What do you call it in English? Zwischenablage is the German word, which is kind of nicely German word, isn't it? Zwischenablage. And it's not even a bad one. There are bad German words that are typical for the German language, but I think Zwischenablage is a nice one. Besides the table, standing, talking. Or at least they had been talking until suddenly Munira had dropped in with Sam, who, of course, stood besides her, completely upright and very dignified. God damn it, she exclaimed, and found she wasn't even seriously angry. I could add an explanation, like because it was all too much, or it didn't seem really real, or it was all too strange to really waken her anger, but I feel this might be one of those situations where the explanation doesn't add anything necessary. So I'm leaving it out. Seriously angry? You couldn't have warned me or something. You didn't like the slow? What do I'm looking for a specific word that's just not coming to me. Transition. So I did the quick one. There's just no pleasing you, is there? I'm so going to pay you back in 300 years. Or whenever. She grumbled. So that's nice, I think. As I said, I think I can do dialogue. I think dialogue is okay if I write. I just can't do simile. We're nearing the end of our hour. But at least we have already established the scene we have voted for, or you have voted for. What the hell is going on here? Lara, I should have just like this. Oh, it says Lars. Why does it say Lars? And nobody noticed. You could have told me. Lara breathed, staring at them. Eyes wide. Mouth narrow, line. Always difficult because she's talking, I realize that. I'm just after that she's staring at them like this, you know? I don't know. I'll allow it for now. We can I'll make another note, you know? I'll just make another note. We'll think about it and then we'll see what happens. So I think we're done for today. We're done. I think we made a lot of progress. This was nice. I hope you enjoyed it too. Even though most of the polls were happening in the beginning, and then I just typed and typed and typed, and I hope that was all right with you. I still thank you for your active and helpful and entertaining participation. This was fun for me. I hope it was fun for you too. If you liked this, remember the pitiless, cruel YouTube algorithm and help me, a poor little streamer with, I don't know, 12 followers or something. Share this video, like this video, subscribe to my channel, tell everyone about it. Or don't. It's fine. Be careful with the bell symbol, because those notifications really get on my case. I hate them. So I wouldn't wish that upon, well, maybe not. I think there are some people who deserve more notifications on their smartphone and stuff, but you not. You are good people, I think. You don't deserve that, so don't click that. But otherwise, do what everyone asks you to do. Share them, push all the buttons, do the good thing, you know? And of course, look back in when the next live stream is coming. I don't know when, maybe 3 weeks, maybe 2, maybe 4. We'll have a poll on that too. It will, as per usual, be published as a doodle link. And I hope you'll all be there and respond, and we can have a good time then. I also hope you have a nice remainder of your Saturday, and I wish you all the best. Thank you, and I don't know why I'm talking so long. There's absolutely no need for that. Sorry. Bye! Guess I just felt a need to fill the hour, but I'm giving up 20 seconds in, because I see no advantage in that. I'll just give up, and I know the second I click, the clock will change to 1600, and then I will be a bit disappointed, because I'll think I could have done the full hour. I could have done it until 1600, but then I clicked the button too early.